You attended a couple of Diddy's parties.
Yeah.
Care to elaborate just a little bit if you can, or anything? But on one of the clips I seen, I think on Facebook, you were talking about you attended a couple of Diddy's parties.
Yeah.
Care to elaborate just a little bit if you can, or you want to go deep? Go deep. Shit.
I mean, honestly, I went to be nosy and I went to go make sure that my workers were working. I kept people in those parties.
Jaguar Wright is once again weaving a web of contradictions, incriminating statements, and sensational claims. In this interview, she makes bombshell statements about her past in the industry, hidden cameras, and direct ties to Diddy's parties. But as always, the question remains, is this truth, exaggeration, or yet another desperate attempt to remain relevant? Yeah, you know my opinion. She is an imposter. But let's break it down.
But that's a great thing. But on one of the clips I seen, I think on Facebook, you were talking about you attended a couple of Diddy's parties.
Yeah.
Care to elaborate just a little bit if you can, or you want to go deep? Go deep. Shit.
I mean, honestly, I went to be nosy and I went to go make sure that my workers were working. I kept people in those parties.
Pause. That statement alone raises massive questions. If she had workers in those parties and she was checking in on them, what exactly was her role? The supervisor, recruiter, organizer? Jag, you said you had no business or no nothing ever with Diddy. Didn't you say that before? So what do you mean that you had workers? Sex workers, by the way, because that's what she has always been saying, that she sends sex workers to his parties. Let's not forget, she has openly admitted to being a dominatrix and a sex worker, or a PIMP. Now she's admitting to placing people inside these parties and monitoring them. Yet, when others summarize her statements, she suddenly backtracks and cries, "Misinterpretation! That's not what I said." If she was truly just watching over people, why the need for hidden cameras, right?
I still got people that go to Diddy parties. People keep forgetting I was a dominatrix. People keep forgetting I'm a sex worker. People keep forgetting I had my own book.
Didn't she dramatically showcases a watch, starting, that's not a watch, that's a camera. That's coming up next. This raises another major red flag. Why would a self-proclaimed dominatrix need hidden surveillance in these environments? If her claim is that she was simply checking on people, why is she collecting footage? The insinuation here is that she has compromising material, yet she conveniently never releases it. It's always in the storage somewhere all across the United States. It's hidden, it's here, it's there, it's everywhere. And she's never going to release it. But yeah, she claims to be a whistleblower, but not blowing any whistles, but blowing on DIC. Yes. Yeah. She even goes on to say, little hidden cameras like that, I'm going to be able to rig them up so I can go live. If this were true, why hasn't she done so? If she truly had damning evidence, why tease it rather than expose it? It seems more like a scare tactic than an actual revelation.
I just wasn't trying to Heidi Fleiss it. I was an artist. I had a reason to be in certain places, which gave me the reason to keep people on my list. At my table.
$1,000 for a 17-foot TV system that cost $150,000.
You know what I was going to ask you, Jag? How the hell do you know all this stuff? Is that how?
Really expensive things we know that are popular.
Let me show you a little something that I don't show most people. Lovely timepiece, isn't it?
Yeah, lovely.
Hold on, let's get in on that.
I'm trying to hold on. Let me remember how to do this. I'm gonna zoom in. So
there you go.
There you go.
You don't see me wear it often.
Right.
If you see me worried, if you see me wearing this, though, you should be worried.
So they ask her, how do you know about what goes on in the Diddy parties? Number one, she says she actually pops up there herself to check on her workers. So that means she's actually inside and in the building and in the parties. And in another video, as I said in the last video, she actually would say she shows up there and she walks people out of the parties as if she has some sort of authority over his parties to walk people out, to be able to go in and also to exit and walk people out of the parties. So there's a lot to be said here, right? So now she says she has these watches and these are hidden cameras and it is about $34 or less. So it's not that expensive. And I highly doubt Jack has been using these for years. Okay. Obviously, hers doesn't even look like it has been used. It's obviously that's something that she probably purchased as a prop for the actual video. If she has been recording people in these parties since 2005, that technology did not exist to be having a small enough camera to be in a watch in 2005, I don't believe. Well, what matters is this. Jack is just a pathological liar, and now she's acting like all these sex workers were at these parties with these watches recording what's happening. And also, don't forget, it's not just the sex workers at the parties, because she claims that she will pop up there at the Diddy parties to check on her workers. So that means that she had access to these parties and she will be in the rooms with these sex workers. How can you check on the sex workers if you're not in the same room, right?
Can you speak about the significance behind that watch? If you can.
Well, that's not a watch, that's a camera.
The charges could increase due to the victim's death.
Yeah.
Defense attorney trying to intimidate witnesses.
The question is, how many of those cameras do I have? And how many different variations do I have them? You want to know what's awesome about technology? Little hidden cameras like that? I'm going to be able to rig them up so I can go live.
Here she goes. She's going to rig it up so she can go live and steal no lives, no evidence, no receipts, no edges, no life, no nothing but diapers and dingleberries in the crack of her ass. That's about it. And that's all, folks. Like, yeah, Jack has never posted one receipt. And if she posts anything, it does not make sense or it's irrelevant and it's a stupid ass receipt. No real receipts that actually matter.
During a news conference, Weinstein's attorney accused Haley of lying.
But fuck, I'm a whole spy.
The spy who shagged me. Okay, Austin Powers. Jag, have a seat.
Sexual assault. April Lamppost says 30 years ago.
I hear something playing talking about Diddy now in the background. You see
Yeah,
that?
it's just Diddy everywhere, my bad. Diddy bad. We Diddy. You can't get away. No Diddy, no Diddy, no Diddy.
That's funny.
When you seen that video drop of him beating up Cassie, what was your first thought? Like, what'd you think? Like,
I was
damn,
triggered.
there you go.
I was triggered instantly.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Because I remember when that happened to me. Running out of that hotel room with a sheet. And he came out. And he grabbed me by my hair and he dragged me back. And he just hit the shit out of me until I stopped fighting. And then he had his way.
Was it somebody in the industry?
Yeah.
Okay. The media side wants me to ask who, but then the brotherly side wants you to keep that private. So if you want to disclose it, you can, but if not, we definitely respect that too.
I'm going to pay my debt and I'm going to collect what's owed to me in my own way. Y'all don't want nothing to do with that. Trust me. You don't want me to say that.
Ooh.
So you can make threats online to sue creators and other people, but you don't want to sue You don't want to sue the big pockets and the big spenders like Jay-Z and Diddy. They have the most money. So why not sue those people if you have so much evidence and so much receipts on Diddy? Sue him. I mean, don't you have a lot of evidence on all these secret recordings all across the United States?
Yeah.
Not today.
Respect.
Yeah.
So let's talk. I seen a video.
What I will say is that Sean Carter is vicious and violent, and what he don't do with his own hands, he will pay others to do. And he films it all and he watches it. Like I said, there's another tape of me out there. I just don't know where it's gonna pop up.
So there's a video circulating out there. I seen it today actually. Which you speaking?
I'm on a Diddy tape.
Say it again.
I'm on a Diddy tape.
Which one?
That person I was just speaking of. I was there with him.
And there you have it. In the most shocking moment, Jaguar says, I'm on a Diddy tape. Wait. What? First, she claims to have workers in these parties. Then she mentions hidden cameras. And now she casually drops the bombshell that she herself is on a tape. But of course, no details follow, no clarification, no proof, just a mysterious claim designed to keep people talking. She further says there's another tape of me out there. I just don't know where it's gonna pop up. And then she brings up Sean Carter. Sean Carter is vicious and violent. What he don't do with his own hands, he will pay others to do, and he films it all and watches it. This raises a major question. If she was on a Diddy tape involving Jay-Z, how would she have ended up there unless Diddy was somehow involved? Diddy tape, that's possessive. That means it's Diddy tape. He has something to do with it. What was the nature of this recording? We already know she just mentioned a violent encounter, right? And she said she's on a Diddy tape with the person she just mentioned, and that was none other than Sean Carter, Jay-Z. And if this is as incriminating as she suggests, why hasn't she pursued legal action against him? If she can threaten lawsuits against smaller creators for speaking on her, why not take on Jay-Z and Diddy like Cassie did against Diddy, especially when she claims Jay-Z did worse to her than what Diddy did to Cassie? It's common knowledge that NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, do not prevent someone from reporting or suing over criminal activity. If she truly has evidence of crimes, an NDA would not hold up in court. So what's stopping her? The simplest explanation is often the correct one. Either she does not have the evidence she claims, or she's using these stories to keep herself in the conversation. And ladies and gentlemen, it's not the former, it's the latter. She's using these conversations to keep herself in the conversations. She's bitter. She's not in the industry. She's jealous of Mary J. Blige, Jill Scott, and everybody else that made it. Erykah Badu, Beyonce, Jay-Z, and she feels left behind. I mean, that's why she's trying to make a living off these people. She feels like they owe her, especially Jay-Z. She feels entitled. She spent years begging and pleading for Jay-Z to reach out to her and contact her. And when he ignored her, she spazzed out and had a freaking narcissistic rage.
You motherfucker! I helped make you, Sean Carter! I helped make you! Fuck you! You don't want to acknowledge Unplug? Acknowledge this shit! Produce the fucking commission! Produce it!
She put her Fred Flintstone yabba dabba doo feet on that gas pedal, and she has not let her foot off that gas pedal, okay? At all. Full throttle ahead, okay? Watch out for the bald-headed bitch. She's coming through. Make room, make way. She is in a rage, okay? She's bitter, a bitter, failed flop singer, and she's not even a hit wonder. Name one hit of Jag. Your time's up. No hit wonder. Okay, she had a 5-second Coca-Cola commercial, and she looked like she was on coke and not just drinking Coca-Cola. That's just a speculation, observation.
Put your hands together for Miss Jaguar Wright.
Just let it flow.
Bro.
Yeah. But that's a great thing. But on one of the clips I seen, I think on Facebook, you were talking about you attended a couple of Diddy's parties.
Yeah.
Care to
Yeah, I did. So that's not the only video she has stated that she has attended Diddy parties. Once again, Jaguar Wright has thrown out explosive claims but failed to provide solid proof. She admits to having workers at these parties, monitoring them and using hidden cameras, yet she dodges the deeper implications of her own words. She wants to be seen as a victim, a whistleblower, and an insider all at once, but the contradictions keep piling up. If she has evidence, where is it? If she has been wronged, why not pursue justice? Instead, she plays a game of vagueness, being vague, always keeping just enough mystery to maintain interest, but never enough clarity to validate her claims. Not one receipt. And the biggest question remains, why threaten to sue YouTubers for talking about her, but not the powerful men she accuses of serious crimes, Diddy and Jay-Z, while she pretends to be this victim advocate or activist who's fearless, pretending to be a victim advocate and activist on the front line. But at the moment she feels like a lawsuit is on the horizon or she's going to face some consequences, she backpedals and she acts afraid and she like, oh, I'm in danger. But the other time she acts like she's so bold and courageous and fearless. Basically she acts brave when she's lying, and when she's about to get in trouble she cowers. The only conclusion that makes sense is that she knows going author creators is easy, but taking on real power requires real evidence, and something she's never been able to produce. See, on YouTube, people are not really going to ask her for receipts besides other content creators. And she can pretty much say no or play games. But in the courtroom and with the police, you cannot play these types of games. Real evidence is required, and that's something she just does not have and has never been able to produce. Just like she said, she rescued victims from Epstein Island with no boat or no nothing. She's not Jesus. She did not walk on water. She did not do any miracles. Okay, she's not on the Epstein Island list or anything. She's a complete liar without one receipt. Jaguar is not exposed in the industry. She's exposing herself for spinning stories that never add up and without one single receipt. A serious issue that Jag has is that she constantly tries to compete with other victims. Like whenever there's a real victim, she tries to compete with that person and take on their likeness or their story. Jaguar Wright continues to insert herself into conversations where she does not belong, this time competing with Cassie and downplaying the severity of her situation. Instead of standing in solidarity with victims, she twists the narrative to center herself, diminish others, and make her own claims seem more extreme. Let's break down her attempt to rewrite history and place herself at the center of the controversy.
Guess what? It was the sloppy one that got him caught. Because it was the sophisticated one that taught him how to hunt. You remember that?
Yep.
What if I told you I was Ashley Judd? Sean Carter is just as bad as the diddler. And I know that for a fact. I got the scars to prove it.
Huh? So there's been so many people on the internet trying to figure out where you are. They're watching you. They're doing all types of stuff trying to figure you out. Where you are. They're watching you. They're doing all types of stuff trying to figure you out.
You want to know what a box cutter feels like going into your skin and ripping you? I can tell you how it feels. Y'all ain't seen shit yet. That Cassie shit, that's nothing.
Right there, she says, y'all ain't seen yet. That Cassie, that's nothing. Right here, she dismisses what Cassie went through as insignificant compared to her own experience, instead of acknowledging Cassie's lawsuit as a landmark moment of accountability. Jaguar treats it like an inconvenience, something that shifts the spotlight away from her. The language she uses minimizes the abuse Cassie endured, as if it's a competition of who suffered more. A true advocate for survivors would not downplay another victim's trauma just to prop up their own. But Jaguar's focus has never been on justice, it's on attention and profit. At this point, she's less of a whistleblower and more of a contestant on America's Got Trauma, fighting for the top spot. Put down those armpits. You're musky.
So are you trying to say like Jay-Z put hands on you?
I'm saying Sean Carter remembers everything he did to me and he's got it on tape. Just like Diddy.
When Jag says, Sean Carter done it to me, slice me with a box cutter. When she says that, that's a classic example of using extreme graphic descriptions to outdo her victims' testimonies. She does not provide context, proof, or a path forward, just shock value. Why? Because it keeps people talking about her. Real victims seeking justice don't have time to escalate their claims to compete with others. Cassie provided receipts, took legal action, and reached a settlement. Jag, on the other hand, leans into horror storytelling to create the illusion of credibility. And while we're talking about cuts, let's talk about the real crime here. Jaguar Wright throwing her arms in the air like she's about to start a praise dance, exposing her armpits to the world like we asked for it. Girl, if you're going to keep using the word box cutter, at least make sure you are not out here looking like you just fought one under your arms. The way she's moving, you think she was auditioning for a secret deodorant commercial. Yeah, and even secret deodorant can't keep a secret that her armpits stink. Somebody get her a razor and some accountability while you're at it.
And they're going to be crazy. It's going to be the women that get them in the end.
So you say that that Jay-Z.
Fuck Jay-Z! And I think it's time for him to start speaking up about his very good friend. Just 9 months ago, you were singing his praises. All that he's done for the culture. And how you gotta be crazy like Diddy.
Jag, you constantly talk about how you were in a coat closet with Jay-Z and how, Beyonce was upstairs, that romantic fantasy you have that never happened. Yeah, so anyways, let's go ahead and move into the next clip. And please stop trying to compete with Cassie unless you're actually going to do exactly what Cassie did and, file a lawsuit and outline with details. So, yeah, to wrap that up, instead of showing solidarity with Cassie or supporting the growing movement against industry abuse, Jaguar Wright turns it into a competition. She dismisses Cassie's trauma, makes herself the main character, and shifts the focus from legal consequences to empty threats. Cassie took real action and got results. Jaguar Wright keeps talking in circles, hoping someone will buy into her ever-changing stories. If she really has the power she claims, it's time to prove it, Toots. Because at this point, all she's doing is exposing herself as a bitter, envious, and desperate for relevance ass trick. And not trick, but she calls herself a pimp. Tatiana. And next time she decides to throw her arms in the air and wave it around like she just don't care and that she forgot the nair, let's all pray she raises some receipts in the air along with them. Get some receipts, hunty. Because that's the only thing missing from this never-ending circus is some receipts. The receipts ain't receipting, but the hairline is receding. Okay. Another thing I want to talk about is the Epstein Island redacted list. Guess what? Jack actually lied and said that she rescued victims from Epstein Island. She did. And she said, yeah, I'm on the redacted Epstein Island list. And I was like, well, do you know that the names are not redacted, just the phone numbers and email addresses? Yeah. So if your name is on there, we will be able to know. So again, for all the liars out there, if you're going to lie, do your research first. Okay? A lot of you liars get caught up. You don't do your research first. I'm glad you don't, because I'm able to catch you. Okay? A lot quicker. With that being said, the names on the Epstein Island list are not redacted, just the email and phone numbers. And guess what? Jack is not on the list. You're not on the list. And even when you got an award from Mar-a-Lago from Michael Flynn, your name wasn't on the award. But Mike Tyson, his name was on the award. I'm just saying, your name isn't on this list and your name isn't on the award. It seems like you're a nameless person. I'm just saying. So with that being said, I mean, you at least have no hits. You have songs with no hits and 1 5-second Coca-Cola commercial. So I guess you're famous. This is also an example of how she always inserts herself and interjects herself into all, trending topics. No matter what the topic is or who the victim is or who's trending, she will attach themselves to the topic, including as recently as Angie Stone. Okay? So when everyone was talking about Epstein Island as a popular topic, of course, she has to say that she rescued victims from Epstein Island. And of course, there are no receipts.
You see movies like Hostel. Do places like that really exist?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Do the things that go on in places like that exist?
Absolutely.
Shit. It's funny because
there are 3 women I know right now in my life. They've been in my life for 6 years. I've been caring for them for 3 years. I got them off of Epstein Island. I cannot say where they are in the world. What I can say is, when they got into the boat, they were roughed.
And of course, Jack claims to, have actual receipts in a boat, but she has never produced any receipts or a boat. How she got there, and of course, her name is not on the Epstein Island little black book. She thought she could lie and pretend like her name was there because she heard it was redacted. And she didn't know that redacted meant the emails and phone numbers are not the names.
Wow.
Want to know how they ended up on Epstein Island?
Please.
They auditioned to be models for music videos.
Oh, casting couch.
When they got to Miami, they had to show and turn over their ID and they collected their passports, and then they drugged them. And then the next thing you know, they were in a storage container getting fucked by a bunch of weird strangers on camera who were bidding for all of the terrible things that were happening to them live online.
I'm not going to get too much into Epstein Island. I pretty much wanted to show you how Jag inserts herself into stories. That can be a totally different topic for a totally different day. Okay? Jaguar Wright has once again unleashed a monologue of contradictions, self-incriminations, and exaggerated claims, from openly admitting to crimes to blaming fans for enabling predators while avoiding any real accountability. She continues to twist narratives for attention. Let's break down her latest statements and expose the hypocrisy behind her words. For example, Jaguar Wright states part of the reason why she can't speak the way she wants to speak is because the statute of limitations has passed on all crimes. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into that.
Talking cash money bullshit to me is Scott Storch about the importance of songwriting. You get too caught up in all of the fucking trendy shit when a classic song will sell forever. I've had a lot of great experiences, a lot of bad experiences. The funny thing about it is, when I look back now, part of the reason why people have such a hard time believing is because I wasn't. Like, I always hear them say, she wasn't in no pictures there. I know, I avoided it. I didn't want to be seen on camera with any of these motherfuckers with the kind of shit I was into. It's goddamn criminal. You know, part of the reason why I can speak the way I can speak is because the statute of limitation is passed on all my crimes. I never said I didn't commit any crimes. I said I was smart enough to wait for me to not be held accountable for them.
So she is openly admitting to criminal activity, but believes she's smart because she timed it to avoid consequences. This is not whistleblowing. It's bragging about escaping justice. The real question is, what crime is she referring to? And if she was part of the problem, why should anyone believe she's suddenly here to expose it? She also tries to justify this by asking, how do you call someone stupid for making sure they don't serve time for their crimes? Easy. You call them what they are, a manipulator and deceitful. Real activists and truth tellers don't dodge accountability. And when it comes to dodging accountability, Jag is ducking and dodging. Okay, like she's playing a game of dodgeball. Real activists and truth tellers stand on integrity. Jaguar is out here trying to play the victim and the villain at the same time. Okay, that's what she does. When things are going her way, she plays the villain. When it's not going her way, she plays the victim. And not just any victim, but the professional victim.
And you could say I'm a punk for that. I don't know. How do you call a nigga stupid for making sure that they ain't got to serve time for their crimes? But at the end of the day, I think the thing that bothers me the most is that I have the amount of talent that I have. And I was willing to walk away and sacrifice that opportunity, that high every night, that amazing, for the right. Because the reason why I stopped working in the industry was because I'm not going to help them make another dollar to enslave another human.
She said the reason she stopped working in the industry, she stopped working. She says, I stopped working in the industry because I wasn't going to help them So she said she was helping or assisting. I stopped working in the industry because I was not going to help them make another dollar to enslave another human being. That's what she said. That's why she stopped working in the industry. But hold on. How does she know all these details about human trafficking, stolen passports, and prostitution rings unless she was directly involved or complicit? Either she was a part of it and stayed quiet, or she's making up stories to sound important. If she was truly against it, why didn't she expose it then? And why isn't she releasing receipts now instead of stashing it across the United States in storage units? Instead, she positions herself as a righteous figure who walked away. The reality, the industry walked away from her, and now she's rewriting history to make it seem like it was her decision. Her attitude and and other people are just better, to be honest. And she's bitter about not making it. Not everybody makes it in the industry. Some people have a one-hit wonder, and some people have a no-hit wonder, and you wonder what happened to the person. Okay. Jag is nuts. I do know that. So I do believe that her attitude and personality and how she acts and conducts herself play a key part in it. And she also is kind of lazy, so people have to do stuff for her. And it takes you have to have a hustle mentality to make it. Okay.
See, I sign a contract with them. I make money with them. I make money for them. That money allows them to be able to steal girls from different countries, hold their passports, make them video sluts, turn them into prostitutes, sell them.
And Jag received an award on February 18th, 2025 in Mar-a-Lago from America's Future, that is owned by Michael Flynn, General Michael Flynn. And when she was introduced for this award by Liz Crokin, guess what? She was introduced as none other than Diddy and Jay-Z whistleblower. And she did not stop them from, labeling her as such and introducing her as such. She accepted the award. She didn't turn it down, and she even bragged about it. So she got this Defender of Freedom Award for being someone outspoken and courageous and bold to speak out against the industry and be a whistleblower for mainly Jay-Z and Diddy, and which is complete. It's a facade and it's all fake, right?
Needless to say, I'd like to ask you guys a question. How many times have you heard people in Hollywood or DC say, oh, they all knew about Jeffrey Epstein. They all knew about Harvey Weinstein. We had Cindy McCain say, oh, we all knew about Jeffrey Epstein. But nobody did anything. And nobody was willing to say anything. Well, unfortunately for Diddy and a lot of people in Hollywood, there is one extremely brave woman who knew what was going on with Diddy, Jay-Z, and a lot of their pals. And not only did she expose them, she absolutely has been scorching them for years. I do not think that there's anyone that is more feared than Jaguar Wright. So with that, I would want to thank Jaguar for being so courageous in a time where there's very few in media and also in politics, and especially in Hollywood, willing to do something and say something when they see pure evil happening. And she's been doing it for a very long time. They called her crazy for years when she was calling out Diddy, and guess what? She was right. So Miss Jaguar, I love you.
So yes, Jag got the award, Defender of Freedom Award, Mar-a-Lago, and that's her introduction. So that's her introduction. Most likely that's why she got this award. And how interesting is that she's backpedaling and rewriting history and claiming to not to have no nothing ever with Diddy, no business, no nothing, pretty much to be an imposter insider, that she's not an actual insider or whistleblower, which I already knew. Another person that introduced her in the same manner and likeness is actually, guess who? Piers Morgan. If Jag never had really any connection to Diddy to be an actual whistleblower, guess what? Piers Morgan would not have invited her, and she would not have gotten an award, received an award at Mar-a-Lago. The reason she gets paid interviews and recognition is because she pretends to be a whistleblower. Jag is having an issue, ladies and gentlemen, because that's what her whole YouTube career and social media life is about, being a whistleblower. And now that she's backpedaling on a lot of her statements about Jay-Z and Diddy, people are waking up and realizing that she is a fraud and they have been lied to and misled. And by the way, Jag even describes herself as someone that misleads. We're going to get into that. So Piers Morgan pretty much told everyone that this show and panel would be about Diddy. And to speak on Diddy, he has a whistleblower, imposter, Jaguar Wright, an insider Balad, and a lawyer that is suing him or representing a victim that's suing him. At that time, Ariel Mitchell, who is, now representing Ashley Parham, who has added Jag to, guess what? The lawsuit, the amended lawsuit. So he introduced Jag as a whistleblower and a Diddy whistleblower, but that's not it. Pay attention to what he says with Jag on the panel with him and how she responds and does not correct his introduction. So, Jag, you wonder why you get invited? People think you're an actual whistleblower. That's why.
And Jaguar, I'm going to start with you. You've been called a whistleblower. You knew Sean Diddy Combs for a long time. You attended a number of his infamous parties. And in 2022, you made headlines after comments where you called him a sex trafficker. And in response, you were called crazy and jealous. Do you feel vindicated by the events of the last few weeks?
No, not at all. Because he's just the beginning.
How dangerous do you think he is as a person?
I think he's one of the most dangerous people I've ever met. A lot of people have been questioning, well, she doesn't really know him. She has no knowledge of him. She doesn't have a picture with him. I'm smarter than Claudia Jordan. I would never take a picture with the devil. Everyone knew he was the devil. He's been the devil for 30 years. He's been covered and protected by not only Clive Davis, but Lucian Grange. He was selected to be the demon that he is, to keep the culture in line.
Jaguar Wright wants to position herself as a fearless truth teller, but her words don't hold up under scrutiny. She openly admits to criminal activity, but instead of holding herself accountable, she brags about escaping consequences. She claims to have walked away from the industry, but it's clear the industry cut her off. She blames fans for enabling abusers, but she was close to the people who had the real power to stop it, right, Jag? At the end of the day, Jaguar Wright is not exposing the industry. Again, she's exposing herself, and the only energy she's generating is chaos and confusion. Now, let's get into the latest backpedaling, because as I mentioned before, she's backpedaling and trying to rewrite history. Let's get into that. Jaguar Wright is at it again, drowning in her own word salad, deflecting accountability and using semantics to dodge direct questions. She wants to be seen as an industry insider, a whistleblower, a bald-headed girl, and a fearless truth teller. But when you peel back the layers of dry, scaly, unmoisturized skin that never touched a bar of soap a day in her life skin, all you're left with is contradictions, deception, and a whole lot of empty noise. Let's break down her latest mess of misleading statements and expose the fraud behind her rhetoric.
But again, Jag has been on this internet for the last 5 years spreading lies. And so these people have watched her. Let me finish. Just like you. Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? All right, thank you. So she's been on the internet spreading lies this whole time. And let's be honest, these people have watched her. She even said that she supplied girls to the Diddy freak-offs.
I never said that.
You didn't say that you had a...
No, I never said that. And what I am tired...
You said you was like Heidi Flying.
What I am tired of is people misinterpreting me.
Exactly. So I want to know. He's saying that, and after we're going to ask, detail the lie. I hate when people do generality. Lies. No, 1, 2, 3. What is the lie? But yeah. You said that she said that she supplied girl.
Yes.
What did she say? Now, Jaguar, please explain why he would say that.
Because I gave misleading information to podcasters that I don't trust.
You heard it, ladies and gentlemen. Jag said she gave misleading information to podcasters that she does not trust. And let's be clear here. Most of these podcasters have paid her for these interviews, believing, just like Piers Morgan and Liz Crokin, that she is actually a whistleblower. They are not paying for lies. They're paying for the truth. Let me actually say this. Jag is the queen of word salads. Word salads are words, phrases, and concepts thrown together to sound deep, intellectual, or meaningful, when in reality it's just incoherent nonsense designed to confuse, deflect, and evade accountability. Doesn't that describe Jaguar Wright? She piles on dramatic statements, shock value content, mixes in names, like random name dropping for no reason, and mainly Sean Carter. Sean Carter done it to me, and I got the bald head to prove it. He slicks me with a box cutter. And he gonna pay for what he done to me. And then she serves it with a side of conspiracy theories to keep people from realizing she never actually provides real evidence, just lip service. In more than one way. You know, she has a past of walking down the scroll. Yeah. Anyways, Jag, you said I give misleading information to podcasters that I don't trust. That's called lying. Ladies and gentlemen, she calls herself a liar. Let's not sugarcoat it. Misleading means intentionally giving false or deceptive information. And why is she doing this? She claims it's a tactic to smoke out people she does not trust. But real whistleblowers don't need to play games. They drop solid receipts and let the truth stand on its own. So which is it, Jaguar? Are you telling the truth, or are you just making things up as part of your strategy because you can't have it both ways? And by the way, as I stated in my previous video, there is a difference between talking to someone in private, trying to do some sort of, strategy, and talking in front of a live audience or an audience of people that thousands of viewers are going to watch it. And they believe what you're saying because you're proclaiming and alleging that you are a whistleblower and you're getting paid by the podcaster to tell the truth and to expose the industry as a real whistleblower. Instead, you get on there and you mislead them, intentionally mislead these podcasters because you're claiming you don't trust them. Why are you taking their money? And why are you in front of an audience talking? So you're, either way it goes, you admitted and confessed to being a liar.
Oh my God.
See, I already know that Oh God and Sam I Am were working with the Roots from the jump to do disinformation on me when I was exposing them for allegedly sacrificing Malik B. I've known that all along, just like I'm finding out everything that I need to about real life street stars who was referred to me by someone who I at one time thought was a friend, who got chased out of Dallas by my brother for stealing all of the independent artists' royalties. That's how I know real life. I was introduced to them by someone who has been declared a thief.
They made you relevant again.
No, they never made me anything.
Yes, they did.
Okay, no, let's not go there. You're touching her pride, which will make her react.
This isn't about my pride. This is about his pride, because everybody knows, you can ask anybody in the world who subscribed to real life, they only knew them because of me. Matter of fact,
classic deflection. Stick to the topic, changing the subject, changing the topic, bringing in new people, talking about something completely different, to avoid the real question. So I'm glad that it's going to be redirected to get back on the topic of Jag being what a liar.
if you look at our second interview, the first one on the blue couch from the first one, they said they had people contacting them. Do y'all know who y'all had on y'all platform? Oh my God, that was Jaguar Wright. That doesn't sound like they blew me up. That sounds like my presence blew them up.
Exactly. But like I said,
I think both of y'all work
let's
together.
go back to the beginning. Let's go back. So
I'm sorry,
That's
a
why
nobody and a know nothing platform can't make a celebrity a celebrity.
Exactly. But
And by the way, Maggot is her top minion, replacing Yoshi. Yoshi. Because Yoshi is busy, out there eating coconuts or whatever, those apples, whatever's in the freaking trees that Yoshi eats. Aru, broom, broom, whatever that noise makes when Yoshi falls on the hole. I never saved the princess. I'm sorry, princess, I just couldn't save you. I think I got to the part with the trains or something. Yeah. Anyways, sorry to that princess. Anyways, back to the topic. Her minion tries to, help her all the time to do damage control. But even in this situation, in this instance, she could not save her because Jag just admitted to lying. She said she intentionally misleads the podcasters in front of their audience, which means she lies to the audience as well as the podcaster for clicks and views and for profit, because, pretending to be a whistleblower and making up lies on these platforms. So watch what Jag's minion says about her and how she describes her and how she actually admits that Jag was lying or admitted to lying.
You understand?
But we're not going to lie that their production didn't have something to do with that.
Please stop talking about their production, especially considering how many negative reaction videos you did to their content, talking about how their content wasn't great, their questions were stupid, they don't ask this, it's really not that great, the couch stinks, the lights are dumb.
I've never said that.
Yes,
I've never
you
went in
have.
like that.
Yes,
no.
you
I have
have.
said they don't push back on you, but I never said they ask.
Once again, yes, you have, and it's
you're just grouping me in with everybody else. I don't really hate
just like you group, just like you're grouping me in with all of the fake Diddy victims.
Yeah, and you were just even saying the other day, the same girl that's suing you, you're saying that you believe her.
Number one, I don't know why anybody would be suing me with the dates and the stuff all checked. I don't blame this on Ashley at all. I blame it exactly on who it belongs with, Ariel Paddington.
So here's my thing, because if we're saying that, we're blaming it all on Ariel, so are we saying that the girl is not smart enough to be all like, hey, this part is not true? Like,
I'm saying I think Maggie is right, and that girl signed an addendum giving Ariel Mitchell carte blanche to be able to add or change anything she wants in the lawsuit. I think
Yes.
Are you sure? Because when I say I have read it, I have read it.
Okay, I read it once, but I didn't read it like 30 times.
Actually, you didn't read it. You said you.
Read it.
Once again, Maggie,
Here
I'm
we
gonna tell you
go.
where he read it. He was over there with Mims. He let Mims read it because Mims reads better than you, and then you just took down your notes and then went back to your channel and
Well, I'm
pretended.
happy that he reads better than me. Okay, all right.
He looks better than you too.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my!
Don't worry, you would still want to fuck me, so it's all right.
In what universe?
No, let's not. No.
Listen, I would have you. I would have you talking about. Shut up. It's the cleanest thing that would be in your mouth. Salad.
You weirdo.
No. No. Let's go back to
Hey,
basics.
talk about I want to have sex with him. He's weird.
So you okay? 82. You keep on saying that Jack is a liar, except the Storm Monroe BS because I refuse. Okay, what are the lies?
Wait, I literally just said she was talking about she supplied the girls to the Diddy parties. It's on my channel. Like,
okay, and she admitted to lying. She said, I didn't do
say
that.
I said I gave misleading information.
Misinformation is lies. Are lies just misleading people, intentionally misleading and being deceptive? That's lying. Again, she repeats and reiterates that she says she gave misleading information. Once she sees that it's not getting a positive reaction or good feedback, positive feedback, she's like, oh, wait, I need to change this. This is not the way out. I'm in this mess, but I need to get out. I don't need to say misleading because people don't like that word. So let me now change the word and change it to now saying, oh, I omit information, because she has to think on her feet. Her yabba dabba do, Fred Flintstone heavy feet. She has to think like, what can I say in this moment, because they don't like this term.
Doesn't have to be, excuse me, misleading information doesn't have to be a lie.
You cannot try to change what misleading information is. Misleading is intentionally being deceptive and misleading people. You're being dishonest.
Matter of fact, you know the best do you know the best
saying a lie.
Can I please finish speaking? See, what I do is what I've been doing, which is why can't nobody get me in the court, can't nobody depose me, and can't nobody make me say nothing I don't want to say. See, I take enough of the facts and I make sure that I leave out very, very, very pertinent things.
Okay, so when you say misleading information, you mean
I omit.
You withhold information.
I omit, yes.
So now she tries to switch it up and change it up and say omit information. That explains her tactics. I take enough of the facts and make sure that I leave out very, very pertinent things. And then her minion MAGA tries to help her out of this whole, which obviously she exposed herself as being a liar as soon as she said misleading, not once, but twice, that she misleads the podcasters. So now she's openly admitting that she manipulates information. What type of whistleblower manipulates information, leaving out key details while pretending to expose the truth? People are thinking that she's blowing the whistle, like she's a whistleblower, exposing the truth, exposing the industry. And now she's admitting that she's omitting information and manipulating the type of content, misleading, leaving out key details or pretending to expose the truth is not noble. It's deception. You're being deceptive. A real whistleblower does not omit anything. They lay everything out in the open. But Jag operates in half-truths. Half-truths are lies. You're not being completely honest. You're being a liar. Carefully curating her statements to stay just short of legal consequences while maximizing controversy. And by that, she's trying to avoid defamation lawsuits. That's why she said the Storm Monroe was AI when it was actually real, and she actually made those statements that Sean Carter raped her and put a gun to her head. At that time, you know, Jay-Z had really just started his lawsuit against Busby. And Jag was worried about being connected to Busby due to me and, you know, connecting her to Busby and linking her to Busby. So she was afraid of possibly being sued. So that's why she started to say that the whole Stormer Road video was AI, because she didn't want him to turn around and sue her. I mean, if he's suing Busby for that because of that other Jane Doe, why not sue Busby for her, or why not come after her when she's lying about him, right? So she said the video's AI, and she never said it about Sean Carter. It was about a guy named Trevor Green, who she never has mentioned before. But anyways, half truths are not truths. Omitting information is not telling the truth. It's selective storytelling with the goal of misleading her audience while covering her tracks. So the term you change it to is not really going to be useful, ma'am. You're still misleading, and you're not telling the full truth. You're telling half truths, and you're being dishonest and manipulative and deceptive to an audience that expects you to be a whistleblower and a truth teller.
Okay. I am French, okay? For me, work, I'm like, I gotta, like.
That's what I edit what I say. And I hold the things that I know could get me in trouble. And then I just say the things that I need to say so that I can subliminally drive billionaires insane.
And so why did you say the thing about you supplying girl? Or did you even...
Oh, shoot. Maggot, you already know. You said... Maggot actually tried to question her. She said, why did you say about supplying girls? Like, why were you saying that? Like, you were out here saying you had these workers at these parties. Maggot knows the truth, but Maggot is trying to protect her friend and look out for her friend and life for her friend, because she's a cloud chaser. She wants to keep that money rolling in. But she definitely knows the truth. That's why she was just saying that, Jag, you're lying. Jag admitted to lying, and that she was just Freudian slip. She said, why did you say... She didn't say why AT2 said it. She said, why did you say, Jag, that you were supplying these workers? And then she caught herself like, oh, wait, let me rephrase this.
I said I had my own girls who had their own tapes. And I showed one of my hidden cameras. Now, what
no. This is classic deflection. First, she heavily insinuates her involvement in Diddy's notorious parties. She even received an award at Mar-a-Lago from Liz Crokin, gave it to her. And of course, it was like, Michael Flynn, General Michael Flynn is over there. And even Donald Trump, 45, Mr. Orange was there. So with that being said, even Piers Morgan introduced her as being at these infamous Diddy parties, So Jag actually stated in one interview that she went to the Diddy parties, and she would check in on her work. However, when people repeat what she said, she backpedals and cries about semantics. And she not only said in this interview, but other interviews, about how she sent sex workers to these parties. How she says it might change, but the whole meaning remains the same. Tomatoes is still the same meaning, that you have sex workers at these Diddy parties, and that you will have those workers cammed up. And in one interview, you actually stated that you would attend and you would be cammed up. And that other times, you've said a few times that you went to these Diddy parties and freak out parties. And even Piers Morgan asked you about, for those that never attended, what were they like, thinking that you were actual whistleblower.
The whole point is I've seen what they do. That's how I know how.
For those who were never at these freak-off parties, what were they like?
See, this is the thing.
Again, if you have workers in these parties, what exactly does that mean? If you're monitoring them, what is your role? If you are providing hidden cameras, what are they doing with the footage? You have said you have your own tapes. When people were talking about freak-off tapes, you said you have your own, and that the sex workers were going to these parties and giving you these tapes. She wants to sound like an insider while keeping just enough vagueness to dodge accountability. It's a scam tactic. Drop explosive statements, let people run with them, then claim everyone misunderstood when she's called out. or it's AI, or it's deep fake, it's no, that's not exactly what I said. I said this to spin and play word salads and semantics.
Have on those things ain't nobody's business. And what I find most interesting is that everybody keeps trying to get me to expose all of that stuff. But you want to know what I do know? On that Penske truck that was confiscated and moved and nobody is seen with all of my things in it, there was a lot of information in there. But you
So here she goes. She's gonna act like she has receipts, but they have been disappeared or hidden. She has no access, so she's not gonna reveal or anything to keep people hanging on. Like, oh, she has something, she's gonna reveal it. Ladies and gentlemen, she has been talking about she has receipts for all these years, and they have all been where, like in storage somewhere, and what storage, and then she has a storage, sometimes she'll say she has a storage unit in one location, another time she has storage units all across the United States, and the next thing you know, she has a house internationally and overseas, and then she has a boat. She rescued people from Epstein Island. And then other time, if she's so broke, why can't she sell the boat? Where's the boat? You see what I'm saying? It's lie after lie after lie. Okay. And then she'll say she has a house, but then everyone knows she doesn't own a home and she doesn't have a mortgage in her name. Yeah. So another thing I want to point out is that when Jag is backed into a corner, like a little scared little rat mouse is trapped into the corner, Jag flips the narrative from I'm exposing the industry to everyone is out to get me. That's what she does. So she goes from this whole like, oh, I'm fearless, I'm on the front lines, I'm gonna expose everyone, and I'm not saying allegedly, and aggressive and bold, right? And then the moment she's cornered, she has to deflect, and then she goes into a lot of victim stories. She's gonna tell you all sorts of sad stories and sad this and sad that, and put on like, oh, poor Jag persona. That other persona is gonna disappear. And then it's going to be everyone is out to get me. My life is in danger. I was swatted. I was this. Oh, my son and my mom. She's going to go into a bunch of sad stories to deflect. She blames podcasters, content creators, the industry, and even random chat members for twisting her words when she's the one twisting them in the first place. She's the one admitting to omitting and misleading. And spinning and things like that. She's admitting that she's the one playing games with podcasters she does not trust. She's the one saying that she goes onto platforms and intentionally says things that she intentionally says things to get creators caught up in possible lawsuits. So she's the one out here doing all these games, and then she tries to pin it on others or blame others for not understanding when she herself admits that she's playing games. If she really had power over these big names, like she said, oh, I'm going to make them scared and say these big names, these billionaires. If she really had power over these big names, why hasn't she taken them down yet with all these so-called receipts? Take them down, take them down. Oh, when it comes to that, all of a sudden now she's scared and she can't say anything and she can't speak and she can't reveal. But I thought that's what a whistleblower was supposed to do, reveal, expose, and be bold and courageous. Isn't that what Liz Crokin gave you the award for, Toots? Oh, you're scared now. Oh, you're scared when you want to run and hide because you don't have receipts to show. And when you think that, and just like a little rat in the hole, when you think the coast is clear, you come scurrying out on your hind legs and quarters to tell more lies. And then the moment someone says, where are the receipts, or hold you accountable, you scurry back into the hole looking crazy. And then I'm a victim. If she really had evidence, why hasn't she produced it? She claims that she's going to sue me and others, but she has not said the same about Diddy and Jay-Z. She claims to be the ultimate industry threat, yet the only thing getting exposed is her inconsistencies.
You know the sad part about it?
Yeah.
When they went through that truck and they tried to go through all of that, I'm sure they found that the most important parts weren't there. I got shit stashed in storage containers all over the United States. Y'all niggas ain't gonna find it. You won't know where to get it. And y'all can't bully me or push me into giving you any details that could help you get there first.
Because
you big dummies, you big.
If you were a whistleblower, you should be giving that to the authorities, not having it in some storage unit. Like you're still trying to protect the billionaires that you're claiming to expose. So are you either exposing them by giving the evidence to the authorities, or are you protecting them by housing these tapes and things in storage units all across the United States? And keep in mind, folks, if these tapes were just about her and her own corn life and her corn history, nobody would give a damn about it being in storage units all across the United States. Obviously, she's trying to insinuate or imply that these tapes are about Diddy freak out tapes and things like that, and in industry tapes. And that's why she has them all across the United States, and she's not going to give them to anybody.
Dummies.
But you said you want a freak off tape. Can you ask her about that, Angie?
Once
Yeah,
again,
I understand.
I had sex tapes.
So was that the
Made
story?
my own.
Was that because I'm so sorry because supplying girl.
No. When you were on all these podcasts, they specifically asked you about Diddy and Diddy parties and what happened at Diddy parties. And they did not say what happened in Jag's bedroom. They said Diddy, 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 Diddy. That's what you were responding to. Please don't try to rewrite history.
Saying I have girls who have their own tape. That is decent. Like 82, did she say I am supplying girl, or did she say I have girls?
Oh, now imagine you're playing semantics. Come on.
It's
now.
not semantics.
Is it semantics? Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
You're literally trying to find a way for Jag to weasel.
Okay, no. I'm
not
literally in the interview.
I literally call her a liar in front of you and agreed, and then okay, it's withholding
No, you said she don't admit it. You can't just say,
Change, deflect. She has sex workers at these parties that she would go monitor. There's different videos of her saying exactly what we were saying, that she sent sex workers to these parties, that she went herself and escorted people out and wanted people out. All the evidence is here. Watch the other video I just posted 2 days ago. And Jag is just deflecting. She is deflecting and trying to backpedal because she's afraid of this lawsuit or any lawsuit, to be honest.
No, because that's what I did.
That's what she said. Okay, she said that she leaves key information out, which is omitting. So yeah. Okay, so basically you're agreeing that it was the same interview, 82? It was the same interview that she found?
Yeah, the same interview. She said that she
And guess what? And guess what else happened with Oh God and Sam I Am when I got the Defender of Freedom Award? It was such a bird call. It was such a dog whistle video. So he literally looked like God. Just like stuck his foot clean up his ass. And Sam was sitting there talking about, so does this mean Jaguar was telling the truth? She has the Defender of Freedom Award?
Nice in the chat, okay? I will block you.
Are we in trouble? That's what Sam actually said. Sam.
So now she's got a nationwide treasure hunt going. If she really had these storage units packed with evidence, why hasn't she used them? Why hasn't she produced one document, one video, or one piece of undeniable proof? This is just another layer of her deception. Building suspense and dangling carrots with the promise of hidden evidence that conveniently never materializes. It's the conspiracy theorist version of the check is in the mail. And let's be real, storage units are not cheap, as I said before. If she has so many across the country, why is she constantly asking for donations? The math is not mathing.
Sam I Am from Hip Hop Viral News. You know, the guys over there with 1 million subscriber platform, something you'll never do. I know that they've been capping for the Roots the entire time, which is why.
Do you have 1 million subscriber platform? No, you don't.
I did the interviews that I did with them because every time I would drop certain information, certain things would happen in the backdrop.
Everybody's out to get you, huh?
A lot of people have been paid to be out to get me. And guess what? If I'm honest about knowing who all is out to get me, how can I get them to be stupid like you and pass subliminal messages for me that are inflaming the people that pay all of you?
Let's be nice, Jag, no stupid.
I'm sorry. Unintelligent.
Who's paying me?
Oh, you know what? The simple fact that you keep trying to say that with the dog hate my homework voice. It really is more telling me.
Nobody's paying me. I don't understand what you're talking about. I don't know what you're always saying.
Jaguar Wright is not some fearless industry insider exposing corruption. She's a habitual fucking liar who feeds people vague, sensational claims while carefully avoiding any real accountability. She doesn't even know what that word means, do you? She thrives on semantics, word games, and half-truths, knowing that vagueness is her best defense when she's going to inevitably get caught in her contradictions. She claims to have misled people, like podcasters that she does not trust. But the reality is, she has been misleading everyone, her own audience, her friends, her so-called allies, and even herself. Not just her enemies and these podcasters that she allegedly does not trust, but is perfectly fine with taking their money for paid interviews and their awards and being on these big platforms and letting people introduce her as a Diddy whistleblower, only to take it back later. She flips between playing the all-knowing industry veteran and the perpetual victim, whichever role gets her the most attention that day. So if, being the industry veteran whistleblower gets attention, she'll play that role when it's convenient. And then other times when she's cornered or wants, sympathy or empathy or to play the victim Olympics, she wants to be the perpetual victim and even compete with real victims. Whichever role gets her the most attention in the spotlight. Let's not forget the magic storage unit she supposedly has scattered across the country, overflowing with evidence that conveniently never sees the light of day. For someone who claims to be the ultimate whistleblower, she sure does have a hard time actually blowing the whistle on anything concrete. At the end of the day, Jaguar isn't a threat to the industry. She's a threat to her own credibility. The only smoking out she's doing is snorting. I'm just kidding. She's doing is exposing her own fraudulence. She's not an insider. She's not a truth teller. And she's certainly not someone who should be taken seriously. Jaguar Wright's greatest talent isn't exposing secrets. It's running her mouth while running from the truth. Rewriting history. Saying everything is AI. Avoiding accountability. Avoiding showers.
When they start creating fake allegations, because see, this is the thing, and I made it very clear. People know nothing. Ever. With Diddy, no one will find anything ever with me and Diddy. It would be easier to find things with me and Mr. Carter. And those things will never happen.
Yet you go on all these interviews pretending to be a whistleblower, a Diddy whistleblower at that.
I've been honest about who I am. I've been honest about my past. I've been honest about everything.
You just told another lie.
I've been more honest than anybody else has.
The lies, the lies, the lies.
And I'll tell you this. They would have had a better chance of trying to make something stick if it came from the Jigga Man. Because that's where the real dirt is. I ain't got no dirt with Diddy. I never did no business with Diddy, nothing. I find it funny that people really don't listen. They don't listen. They gotta listen to Amber Rose.
What child? A mess, a mess, a mess. I think that Amber Rose has more industry stuff going on than you do. Okay. As of right now, the topic is about you. So let's not deflect. No business, no dirt with Diddy, no nothing ever with Diddy. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the only truth that she said. That's the only truth that she said in these videos. She has nothing with Diddy. No, nothing. Nothing, no nothing ever with Diddy. No business, no dirt with him, no nothing. She's an imposter. She's a fraud. She's a fake whistleblower. Jaguar Wright admitted to intentionally stating things and saying things on content creator platforms to try to get them sued. And in fact, some almost have had legal consequences or face legal issues because of her statement. So my question is, why are people still wanting to interview someone that is such a liability?
But you know, they still waiting for me. See, what a lot of these YouTubers don't like to acknowledge is the fact that they were so busy getting content off of me, they didn't realize I was setting all of their platforms up for them to be sued and not me. I did that on purpose. And guess what? It worked. Because what it showed me is all of the content with me saying all of those very, very, very whoa things on all of your platforms. The ones of you who kept it up and milked it were the ones that were trying to put me in a position to be sued by Mr. Carter. And yet he never asked y'all to take any of that stuff down. It's funny. Why not? They call up Pierce and ask Pierce to take it down. The people coming for Sean Atwood's catalog, forcing him to take it. Why don't any of y'all have to take it down? If all of these things are so terrible and these lawyers are coming around snatching it down from other platforms, why aren't they snatching any of those things down from yours? Always been integral with us. We have enjoyed our association. We do not have any inclination to end it, but to propel it. Because, Sean, outside of real life, you have the hottest Jaguar Wright content on YouTube.
Had, let's say, because you're not aware of what's happened in the last couple of days.
Oh, some things happened.
Yeah, there was 3 things that destroyed all my Epstein content, and they were lawsuits, they were strikes, and they were internal feuds between all of the people who started out working together. And we're just seeing history completely repeating itself right now with the Diddy content of mine. 90% of my Diddy content had to be deleted yesterday. I've got a huge legal situation right now, and my lawyer's handling it, and he told me it all had to go. Otherwise, basically, they're going to come and take your whole channel. So that's all gone. And this is the thing you mentioned, Jag, the distraction of people like Ron and Ronnie feuding.
So as you can see, Sean Atwood was facing legal issues and consequences for about 90% of his Diddy catalog. So he had to remove it or risk losing his whole channel. And by the way, people only remove and delete and edit things that they believe can be defamatory or false information. If it's the truth, you don't have to remove it because no one can sue you for the truth. They can only sue you for lies. So anyone removing anything or hiding anything is because they are afraid of legal consequences. Also, keep in mind that Piers Morgan stated in his apology video to Beyonce and Jay-Z after Jag made statements on his platform pertaining to them, he stated that Jag unexpectedly stated things on his platform that he was not expecting. After all, she was only there to talk about Diddy. So why did she unexpectedly mention Jay-Z and Beyonce, her obsession? Again, out of her own mouth, she lies on platforms to try to get people sued. She misleads people. She omits. She plays games. She manipulates things. She's dishonest. All those things point to a dishonest person and a fake imposter whistleblower who never has one receipt.
The shocking allegations levelled at Sean Diddy Combs have burst the floodgates on salacious claims about an industry many people believe harboured a monster. Understandably, the internet's ablaze with claims about these events and whether other powerful figures were involved too. Well, last week I interviewed Jaguar Wright, a singer-songwriter who's made claims about Diddy for years. Those claims had already received a lot of attention in the media across many platforms for many years. And that's the thing about platforms. The reality of the modern world is that pretty much everyone has a platform as long as they have something to say that other people want to hear. That's why we invited her on to be interviewed. The people making these claims have an audience with or without shows like mine. Well, Jaguar Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves, but now they have. Their lawyers contacted us to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact, and we've therefore complied with the legal request to cut them from the original interview. Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored. But, like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theatre, there are legal limits on us too. And we apologise to Jay-Z and Beyonce.
If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button, slice and dice that like button, and, you know, subscribe to your girl's channel, and look forward to more videos exposing these fraudsters. Yes, unto yes, hit that like on your way out of here. And Jag, we're waiting for a receipt.